Do I believe that Trump wants to make Canada the 51st state? 100%. Absolutely. I believe that that is what Trump intends to do. I believe that Donald Trump has expansionist dreams of the United States. I have followed Donald Trump for about the past 12 years, and I have seen nearly almost every speech that he has given, campaign speeches, his speeches when he was president previously in the Oval Office, or any press briefings that he held. I have followed the man very closely. And you might think that that's a little extreme, but I have always been extremely nervous about Donald Trump's intentions, not really surrounding Canada, but just in general. And obviously now I'm much more nervous about those intentions surrounding Canada. The New York Times ran an article today that is really giving us insight into what the Trump administration has been saying to Canadian officials behind closed doors. I usually don't like to talk about articles that have too many anonymous sources making big claims, but it's the New York Times, and these claims have been made before by other outlets. And the New York Times clearly has verified these claims through direct sources of their own now. So that's why I'm bringing it up. In this article, they talk about the fact that when Trump and Trudeau spoke back on February 3rd, when they were going to try and negotiate a pause on tariffs the first time, that Trump talked about treaties between Canada and the United States and trying to redraw the border. They also detail a call between Howard Lutnick, who is Trump's trade secretary or commerce secretary, to Dominic LeBlanc, who is our finance minister. And essentially, Howard Lutnick told Dominic LeBlanc that they were, again, reviewing treaties, and Trump had planned to essentially rip them up. Howard Lutnick also told Dominic LeBlanc that they were considering taking Canada out of the Five Eyes intelligence agency. That was previously reported by the Financial Times. However, the day that they reported that, Peter Navarro came out in front of the White House and said that that whole idea of Canada being kicked out of Five Eyes was completely false and nothing to worry about, essentially. However, it was after these calls where I really started to get a sense by just listening to, our elected politicians who are negotiating with the US, that these negotiations were not going well. These weren't trade negotiations, and they are certainly signaling that the Trump administration is after much more. You can even look at Newfoundland and Labrador's Premier Andrew Furey. He resigned just a few days ago, citing that he just couldn't handle the stress of dealing with Donald Trump, saying that the Trump administration is erratic and, deranged. And that was one of the clear signs to me that we are not getting the full picture. I remember when Justin Trudeau had the hot mic moment, a lot of people were thinking that that was possibly set up, and it might have been, but I think it was a way of trying to alert people without setting off a bunch of sheer panic. But I do think people need to stop thinking about this as a trade war, because as much as people hear the 51st state talk and they say, well, that's never going to happen, I truly believe that Trump is serious about it. I just really and truly believe that people are going to have to be prepared to fight for this country if we want to remain a country.